Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the inaugural MotorSport New Zealand eRace series. It is round number 2, and my name is Craig Lord. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you this evening, bringing you the top 25, the split one of the 100 competitors that decided to be part of this wonderful eRace series. So, where are we this evening? We are at the Okayama playground in Japan, and it is a playground. It's a highlands. It's a playground. It was for the rich. It was for people to play, and now it's not used really for anything but clubs and a little bit of fun. It only had one international big race, but it's so far from anywhere they don't have any anymore. So that's where we are. The good cool thing about it is we're going to be doing tonight's race in the Radical SR8 V8, which is the Hayabusa V. 2 Hayabusa engines put into a V, a 2.6 litre V8. The thing is off its nuts, and that is what we will be racing. And where are we racing? What platform are we racing on? On the wonderful iRacing. So really, what is iRacing all about? Let me explain succinctly.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Okay, so let me show you the results from last round. Yes, race 1, Darren Lobb, Julian Kleibersink, and Jamie Stovald. They are the people that won the first race. They got in the top 3. Then in race number 2, it switched a little bit. Hugo Allen took the glory. Jamie Stovald and Darren Lobb were 1, 2, and 3. And what does that mean? Well, it means your points are Lobb with 135, Stovald 127, Allen 117, and Kleibersink 112. Lamont is 5th in 93. That's a lot, and there's a lot of changes that are going to happen, I can tell you that, because when you look at all this, you've got 3 other splits as well, and those other splits are fighting desperately to be in the top 3. The lucky ones here in this Tier 1 Split 1 group, we only need the top 20 after 4 rounds to get through. So that is how it is going to work. Let's go to the track, shall we? Okayama Circuit, the international one. It's slightly longer, 11 turns in this one, 11 of them. Now, this was built for a bunch of rich people in Japan. That's what this track was created for. It was a playground, an absolute wonderful little playground. And it was only used once for an international, and it wasn't really a big international because it's so far away from anywhere that it became sort of nonsensical to go there. So this circuit of 11 turns was designed from some people in England, and then they decided to name most of the corners after famous race car drivers from England. The Mosses, Williams, Piper, Atwood, Hobbs, Redman, Knight. Funnily enough, they have two of the most unique corner names in motorsport on any circuit in the world. Turn number 1 is called first corner. Turn number 11 is called last corner. Seriously, that's what they did. First and last. I think it's absolutely amazing, isn't it? Right, so your grids, we're just waiting for qualifying to finish so that we can confirm. And there is our grid. They're already lined up on the track there. So we wait now. Stevens, Dance, Samson, Blinko, Allen, Taliancic, Lob, Klobuchar, McQueen, Mara. So some of the top points grabbers not doing so well in qualifying in the SR8. That's intriguing, isn't it? Going off that points table, they've got a lot of work to do. The advantage they've got, of course, for the second race is that the top 8 is reversed. So you could play a game now. Klobuchar could actually play a very clever game here by finishing maybe anywhere in 6th, 7th or 8th position and end up being on position 1, 2 or 3 when the race number 2 gets underway. But everyone seems to be in the position. We see no one missing one car. It's a dance. But that's iRacing for you. Sometimes it happens. He's there now. He's in. Right, he's pushed the go button. He's loaded up the car. Stevens and Dance on the front row. Samson, Blinko directly in behind. These cars are terrible to get off the line because they are so light and they have so much horsepower. The power to weight ratio is phenomenal and you have to get it exactly right, and the front ones did. Dance, Stevens, Samson, Blinko underway. Lob in 5th place. Allen in 6th. McQueen 7. Taliancic in 8. Listen to that screaming 10,000 RPM twin Hayabusa V8 engine, 2.6 litres of screaming engine. Here is Matt Stevens, currently second. He's got a great slip, goes down the inside, good under brakes, tucks it in. There'll be no chance of a switch here. That was perfectly executed. And here we go, Dance. Watching Stevens dance, but Stevens is away. Stevens is gone skis. On cold tyres, he's already nailing the circuit. I love driving this circuit on iRacing personally. Doesn't mean I'm any good at it, I just love driving it, and it would be probably on a bucket list of racetracks to go see. Carl Sampson, Freeman, Stevens and Dance. Well, that's what is showing as the leaderboard, but can't see that. Where is Freeman? How did he get up there? There we go. That's why, because he's in the pit lane. So iRacing told me he was winning the race. Stevens, Dance, Samson and Blinko. Lob, Alan McQueen. Klobuchar still in 8th position. And again, I reiterate on that point, that could be a great place to just stay. Don't get past and don't pass. And just accumulate the points for being in 8th and get on pole for the next race. Down the inside. Well, I was just talking about it. 77, Klobuchar was about to lose his position. We are on board with Stewart. Geez, down the inside there. It's not a great place to be. You've really got to get out wide if you want to take this turn. Right, this is the hairpin. Turn number 5, then into Revolver 6. The left-hander. Then another left-hander into 7. 8 is Redman. It's another hairpin, but it goes uphill. You've got to be accurate with these cars. You can't sneeze, you can't blink. You can't be 1 degree out and there's a smash in the back. Further down the field, we've lost a couple of competitors, but up front, nothing has changed. Stevens, Dance, Samson, while the rest of them try and find their way back onto the tarmac. Cleland, I guess, was one of the ones who got caught up in that melee. Very, very costly. So back to the front we go. The pack up ahead, the yellow and purple leading the way in Stevens, Dance, Sampson, Blinko and Lob. I don't think they'll be too concerned, Lob, Allen and Klobusink. Really don't, because, well, they're high up in the championship, but if they stay where they are, you can play games now because of that reverse top 8 for the 10-lap sprint. The only problem you've got on this circuit is there's not a lot of places to pass. You've got to be so accurate, and you've got to take advantage within milliseconds here. Right, down the back straight. Here they come. This is one of them. Just not close enough to do it. Into the revolvers. Turn 6, turn 7, and then the hairpin of turn number 8. Still going strong. Stevens out front. Round 7, everyone following suit. No one's doing anything. They can't get enough action. Here is Sampson, part of Kiwi Sim Racing. Number 27 is who we are following. The black with the slight gold trim down the edge. Now what is Stevens doing out there? All on his lonesome. Why was he down the inside, I wonder? There was no need to cool the engine down. There was no need to find a different slipstream. He just decided to go where no one else does, which was a weird thing to do. But at the moment, he's pulling a decent gap. It's nearly a second. It is 0.9 at the moment. It's going up by 0.1 every lap. And we're only in lap 4 of 15. And if this keeps up, he could have a 5 to 6 second gap. It's incredible driving from Matt Stevens. He certainly deserved to be up the front there. From qualifying, Dancers still second with Sampson, Blinko and Lob. 3, 4 and 5. There's a great shot. A great shot of the hairpin. Now that's turn 6 in the revolver. That is Stevens there. Now he is going down the centre straight. The left-hander here is Redmond Curve. Redmond Curve then goes into an up. Just pull a little bit uphill, another hairpin. There's 3 of them on this circuit. Tiny little one into turn number 10. And then the well-labelled last corner. And off they head again. And again he is growing the gap. It has now gone out to 1.3. 1.3 seconds. Incredible. He's done that on one lap. He's pulled out 0.2 of a second on one lap. Here we go. Now could there be a chance for a pass? So Darren Lobb, car number 99. We're watching him, but he is being chased down by Hugo Allen. Now Hugo Allen, oh, he's locked up the tyres. There's a mistake there. So that could have been costly, but it's not a great place to pass. And really, Allen wasn't ready for it. He was 2 car lengths back, and it wasn't close enough. He needs that mistake again. Oh, there's some crazy little shenanigans, shall we say, going on midfield. That's Klobusink. Now he's trying to hold on to his 8th position, which will give him pole for the next race. But we're going back, and Allen has got Lob. Allen is going to get through. Stevens still holds sway with Dance, Sampson, Allen. There's a real rumble going on here now for 4, 5 and 6. Hugo Allen in the black car. He's got it. Who's going to pull him? Is it Blinko? Yes, Blinko's going to get there. Blinko's sideways. Loses control. Lob pulls into the position. So Lob has gained a spot. Blinko took into the kitty litter. Took off there, so that's going to be very, very costly. So, Kleinbesink has to think about this now. Do I grab the points, he says to himself. Do I try and make a couple of passes? We get a few passes here. Those are the people he's got to chase down. He's got to catch McQueen, Lobb and Allen if he wants extra points, but he's got to think about that second race. And you do have to play tactics in a race series. As much as you want the big silverware at the end of each race, you want the bigger trophy at the end of the season. Right, close to losing a spot there. We're watching a great little battle here between Klobusink, McQueen and Lobb. Currently in 7th position. He's trying to get McQueen. And I think he will have his number, so he'll move up into 6th spot is my guess, which will put him onto the 2nd row for the start of race number 2, which isn't too bad. There's actually some tactics in that as well. But to be fair, this is only the 2nd round of the season. You've got to hope that they might have raced each other on other sims, and he knows how the rest of these drivers are. If Clive Sink can think about it a little more and say, well, who is my battle going to be against in race number 2? Who do I want to fight? Do I want to fight Allen or Sampson or Dance? Stevens will be behind me. Now he's got to ponder that too, because the further up he goes, the further back he is and the closer he is to Matt Stevens, who is absolutely owning this circuit at the moment. He can probably afford to back down a little bit on his pace and not try to pull out a 5-second gap and ruin his tyres, because they will go off. That's what iRacing is all about, realistic. McQueen and Kleinby-Sink. We are on board with McQueen looking back at the stage. This is a fight between 6 and 7. Here it comes down the inside. Kleinby-Sink does it well, does it clean. On the hairpin, into the revolver. Tried to switch back, did McQueen, couldn't make it stick. And now he has to think about his tactics for the remainder of this race, with 7 of 15 gone and a 10-lap sprint yet to come. So he has to have a think. Do I wreck? Do I take another spot? Do I sit here and go, that's okay, mate, because I'll be in front of you in the next race? I know it's not what racers want to do. Races are races, and you do want to be in front of the guy in front of you. But you've also got to play the game. It's what's making it quite an interesting scenario, the way MotorSport New Zealand has designed this with that top 8 reverse grid for race number 2. It puts some tactics into the sport. And now it is getting heated. That looks like a back marker, is it? I think that is a back marker. Is that Wayne Christie? I'm just trying to catch the number of the car. Yes, and Wayne Christie's into the wall. He got shoved off. He tried to get into it. In fact, I think he tried to stay out of the way, and he just got a little bit loose. He broke the cardinal rule that he should know. Hold your line and let the other guys go around you. But instead, he started to twitch and move to get out of their way, to be a nice, kind driver. It cost him because he ended up in the wall. So President is out, and let's go back and see who is doing what, because at the moment it is Stevens with a 1.4 second gap over Dance, Sampson, Allen Lobb, Kleinby-Sink, McQueen, Stewart, Mara and Sparrow back in 10th position. There is nothing happening from 10 to 19. No big changes. That is Lobb in the yellow and blue. Thinking about it, pondering an attack on Hugo Allen, and there are enough laps. There is time. He comes across the start-finish line, heads into that wonderfully named first corner. Hard on the brakes, right-hander, big long sweeper. Then they take the left. It's Williams. Now that's the name of the turn, not the name of the driver. That is Stevens heading into it. Goes through the Moss S's, which they call turn number 3, into 4, the Atwood curve, an uphill climb. You've got to get this one exactly right, or you will lose a position down the straight. This incredibly long straight where it just drags out the 2.6 litre V8. Nice to see his gear changes there. So Dance has managed to pull back 0.3 of a second, 0.2 of a second, sorry. I don't know really, I didn't check the last lap times of Stevens or Dance to see if one of them has slowed down or one of them has sped up. But here is the fight, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Is it a fight? Not really. This is circulation right now, and this is a no mistake position. Sampson, Allen and Lobb. Sampson the first of the black cars, and then Hugo Allen and Darren Lobb is the yellow and blue. Further back, Kleinby-Sink in 6, McQueen and Stewart with Mara and Sparrow wrapping up your top 10. That is Mara. Sparrow there in the green. Won't be making any moves from 10th position, but could lose to 51 Matthew Pluck, who's sitting in 11th. So that could happen. Taliancic is well, just not going as well as he did in the MX-5. So not quite adapting to the SR V8, the twin Hayabusa engine slapped together. So here's Hugo Allen in 4th position. Problem is, he's still got half a second gap to catch Samson. Half a second, 5 laps, quite doable. Samson just needs to make one tiny mistake. Maybe hit the ripple strip too hard. Maybe just sneeze at the wrong time and get on the dirt. Maybe overdo the brake. If Hugo Allen can apply some rear vision pressure and force Samson into making a technical error by looking in the rear vision mirrors and maybe holding on to the throttle for that extra 5 meters down the straight. Okay, here is our leader, currently first. 5th gear, can't quite grab 6th down the front straight. Heads into the 1st corner. 3rd. Enjoy the lap. So Matt Stevens a lap with our leader there. Certainly has got this SR8 V8 Radical worked out. A few first gear corners there which surprised me. So I guess that's the advantage of a high revving small capacity V8. You can really slam through the sequential 6-speed gearbox. Stevens, Dance, Sampson, Allen. We are on board with Allen currently still holding sway in 4th position. Hasn't made a gain. In fact, has lost a little bit. Lost a 10th from Samson. Did his best, but now is probably not the time to do anything silly. With 3 laps remaining, he's probably, unless Samson makes a silly mistake, Allen should just sit there and enjoy the fact that he will be in a better position come race number 2. Just don't lose the spot to Kleinbussink on 6th position and behind. So, sorry, and Lob, and then Kleinbussink. Samson and Allen. Sounds like the name of a band, doesn't it? The Samson and Allen crew. So this is the fight for 8th position between Stewart and Mara. Mara in 9th, car number 3. We're on board right now. Big difference in the way they drive. You just notice here between Mara and Stevens. And the fact is that none of these drivers in this split number 1, tier number 1 of the 100 qualifiers, none of them are slow. They're all exceptionally good sim drivers. It's just, it only takes a 10th here and there, just like in the real world, and you end up back in 18th position and looking like you're incredibly slow, but you're not. Lap 13. This is fighting for 8 and 9. There are no changes up front. Stevens, Dance, Samson, Allen, Lob. Kleinbussink, McQueen. We're on board with Mara doing anything to try and catch Stewart, because the advantage with being an 8 where Stewart is Stewart will be on pole for race number 2. So this is Lob now in position 5, out on his own, which means Let's try and work this out. 8-7-6-5 will be on the second row, position number 4, come race 2 if he holds that position. And at this stage, the options are pretty good for doing that. Currently 7th is Lob. Now, why did that happen? Something has happened to my timing screen. Wonder how he's lost 2 spots, but let's worry about that later. So my timing hasn't adjusted, but we're showing Lob, who has lost a couple of spots. So did he play a game? Did he decide, hang on, if I drop down here, I'll be on the front row? Never admit it, will they? A driver will never admit something like that. There's no way I lost 2 spots just to be on the front row for race number 2. Stevens, Dance, Sampson, Allen, Climbersink, McQueen, Lob, Stewart and Mara. That's the race we're watching now. Mara really wants to get there, because if he finishes 9th, he starts 9th. If he finishes 8th, he starts 1st, and he's got 1 lap to do it, and he will know. He will know how important this is. Dance has pulled back 0.4 of a second on Stevens up front, but it's, you know, that's nothing at the moment. Don't even worry about it. This here is really important. This is the race for pole position. There's a car parked up on the grass. I'm not sure who that was, but here is Mara. He doesn't have much time left to do this. He's got to try something dramatic. But I'll give it to Stewart. He is certainly driving the perfect lines to make it very hard to pass. But with all these hairpins, that means a car does slow down, and if you're close enough, you can take a dive, but you've just got to be close enough. And Mara is not, as you can see. Later on the brakes, catches up on the turn, but will lose momentum coming out of the corner. They go through Williams into the Moss S's. Still not close enough. Again, this is for pole. It's funny, isn't it? We're talking about 8th and 9th in a race. Normally you don't even focus on it. Normally you're concentrating on 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But that, you know, for that one, they're going to be back. But these guys, even though we're on the last lap and Stevens, Dance, Sampson are going to win this race, I'd say this is going to finish this way. It would take a dramatic mistake from Stewart, who will end up on pole. Here is Stevens, Matt Stevens, currently first, your race leader. He's gone through Revolver. Where is he now? Yes, there he goes. Turn number 10. Into the last corner. Matt Stevens. What a wonderful drive from him. I reckon he backed down a little bit and he takes the checkered flag. Dance will be second with Sampson and Allen third and fourth. Lob and Climbersink will be coming through in 5 and 6 with McQueen and Stewart 8 and 9. Sorry, 7 and 8. Mara in 9. So Mara won't do any good in his position. Northway 13th. Bate, Gardner, they're all starting to file through now. The gap was kind of big, to be fair. I mean, the gap from 1st to 10th was 12 seconds, and these guys are all quality drivers, so I am quite surprised at that split. 33 seconds back to position number 18. Here is the official result. Stevens, Dance and Sampson with Alan Kleinbusink, McQueen, Lobb, Stewart, Mara and Sparrow. Mara tried hard but couldn't make it stick, and Stewart will take pole. Pluck, Taliancic, Northway, Bate and Gardner are your top 15, with Cleland, Stovald I thought would have been a bit better here, and 2, Lamont, Hassler and Wayne Christie, who ended up in the wall 9 laps down. Hassler, one of the others who came into a bit of trouble. So it's going to be a heck of a race number 2, because we are a 10-lap sprint. We reverse the top 8 of that result. Okay, so I'll let you know the official grid as soon as it pops up on my screen. We'll just wait for our timing board to correct itself and for iRacing to get itself together. they're not as efficient as Motorsport Club. So we are back live at Okayama International Circuit, the playground of Japan's motorsport arenas. And you look at the crowd. Look at the crowd for MotorSport New Zealand all the way in Tokyo area. Let's have a look at our grid, shall we? Stewart, holding on to 8th position in their previous race, means he gets pole on this one. And then Lob, McQueen, Clyde Busink will be your front 2 rows. Hugo Allen will be in position number 5 with Carl Sampson in 6. Cameron Dance 7 and Matt Stevens 8. Then the rest of them, they don't get any advantage. Mara, Sparrow, Pluck, Taliancic, Northway, Bate and Gardner to 15. Cleland, Stovold, Lamont, Hassler, Wayne Christie and Zach Blinko. Zach, I did not expect to be way down in the doldrums. But Stewart and Lob, but keep an eye on Matt Stevens on row 4, position number 8. Can he take an advantage? Because he certainly knows how to drive this car around the circle. Look at the smoke. This is what I was talking about. It's wild. Oh, this is insanity. Now, I think that was Allen in car 30 that got it all wrong. I said in the previous race how hard this is. Chaos. This is insanity. This is awesome entertainment. Oh my. Now this is going to change the points table for the season because a lot of those front runners are gone skis. And where did it come from? The start. It came from the start. Check it out. Trying to get these cars off the line. Here's a replay of not the start. No, that is definitely not the start, so we won't worry about that. Here we go. Watch it. I'm sure it is Allen. Row number 2. Feeds at the fat. Puts the foot to the floor and watch it break loose. These cars, the power to weight ratio, if you don't get it right, there he is. Whammo, takes out 3 cars. Oh dear. And then more chaos as they go into turn number 1 because they started to get a little bit loose and they got all over the place. And what has that done? Well, we'll go back to live and let you know, but look, it was just crazy stuff. So where are we at live? Lob, McQueen, Sampson, Dance and Stewart. How can Lob be up there? Goodness me, that can't be right. Let's wait and see. Here we go. That's better. Dance, Stewart. So Cameron Dance is leading with Stewart. Ben Stewart, who was 8th, and he was leading in that race. 8th in the previous race, leading in this one, down to 2nd. Sparrow is currently 2nd. Can you see him? Of course you can. Look at the graphics. Mitchell Sparrow, car number 71, got a little bit of a nudge as he went past Stewart. Stevens, Matt Stevens, he loved all that chaos in front of him because he's moved from 8th into 4th. Pluck Mara up to 6th. Blinko is up into 7th spot from the back of the grid. How did he do that? Stovall, Bate, Northway, Cleland, Taliancic lost spots. Lamont, Christie's move up to 14th. Hassler, Kleinbusink is in 16. So we've lost our big points leaders at the moment, but the one who's going to gain the most out of this is Matt Stevens in position number 4. We're on board with Ben Stewart, though, in 3rd. He just got pipped by Sparrow, who is absolutely flying, and he is going to take Dance, no doubt about it. Mitchell Sparrow up ahead in car number 2. We're on board with him now. There is so much colour and graphics going on here. I am going to lose my mind. It's like I've been eating magic mushrooms. Look at it. Tries down the inside. He is faster than Sparrow, but he's got to think about this. You've got to be tactical. I know it's a 10-lap sprint, but if you know you're quicker, bide your time. Don't do it in a silly spot. He's putting the pressure on now, and that could be a silly spot. Has he managed to achieve it as he goes round the right-hander? Yes, he does. And they're going to climb and go down the back straight. He got him up through Atwood Curve. Here we go, and look at Stevens, car number, position 4. Sparrow holds it now, but he's got to be smart here. I think he might have done, he took a big risk, a really big risk. Okay, so now it's going to be defensive driving from Dance, Stewart and Stevens. I think Dance is going to get swallowed up. Car number 6. So we are on board with Stevens now, who won the previous race. He started in 8th. He enjoyed the smash and crash in front of him. The points table is going to be fantastic after tonight's racing. He's now in 4th spot, and he's going to try and take on Stewart, and I think he could. He's just staying right in behind. No point trying it here. Oh, do not do it there, and he listens. Stevens backs off. He knows that's not the right spot. It's still Sparrow, Dance, Stewart and Stevens. There he is, and now the gap's starting to open up because that fight between Stewart and Stevens that you're looking at right now, position number 3 and 4. That will allow the 2 front cars to disappear in the distance. If Stewart and Stevens keep this up, Pluck will also come into the battle. He is in car 51, position number 5. He will be watching Stevens and Stewart ahead of him going, okay, you two, have a tussle. Yep, and he's right there now. So now Matthew Pluck is in the game. He's got the silver fern on the car, and he's watching these 2 in front of him. He's watching Stewart and Stevens fight for position 3. Here they go. It's only going to take a love tap from Stevens. We're on board with him now. If he gets this wrong and overshoots the braking and hits the back of Stewart, both of them will get out. And it'll be Pluck and Mara that comes through. That is Pluck there in 51. Currently 5th, waiting for the big mistake. The lights are on. It's getting dark in Japan. Excellent stuff here. Turning into a twilight race. We are halfway through this race now. The sun is starting to set on Okayama International Circuit. Sparrow leads. He did get Dance. We missed it, but he got there. Well, no, we didn't. We saw that one, didn't we? That was the crazy pass. Yeah, I was thinking of something else. All right, that's fine. Dance is still 2nd, and Dance must be really enjoying the fact that Stewart and Stevens are still fighting. Sparrow's walking away with this, loving it. Okay, now you'll notice that the fight between Stewart and Stevens has slowed down, which means they've now caught these front 2 again. Not good news for Pluck in 5th, and not good news for Mara in 6th, because that means no action for them, no chance of a pass at this stage. Sparrow is actually being caught by Dance. He is only 0.3 of a second ahead at the moment between 1 and 2. So that gap is closed up. Maybe Dance got his angry pants on after that pass earlier in the race and thought, yeah, I can do this. There he is now. We are on board. Last of the late breakers, and did a very good job. Couldn't quite get onto the power coming out of turn number 1. Heads into the big left-hander, the Williams curve. Now into the Moss S's. Straight line it as much as you can. Wait until the last millisecond to brake. gently into 4. And there goes Plucky's off, so that's his chances gone, but he'll recover, he'll get back on the track, but he'll lose a massive amount of positions on the circuit and a massive amount of points for his season. So unfortunately for him, he'll go from 5 to 12. We'll take a look at it, shall we? With our replay, and he just got himself in trouble under brakes, clearly. Tried so hard, really, to get up on top of Stevens and Stewart. That's what I was talking about earlier. If you just change your braking line 5 meters too much in these cars, it's all over. So, Sparrow, his lead is being sucked away at the moment. It's only 0.2 now. It's enough as we come into lap number 7. 7 of 10 on this sprint with the reverse top 8 grid from race number 1. Sparrow holding over Dance, Stewart and Stevens. Stevens can't find a way past, and that surprises me. Genuinely surprises me, given the pace he showed in race number 1, and that he had this circuit almost on a string. It was like he was on railway tracks. He could do no wrong, but now he cannot find a way to catch and pass Stewart in position number 3. And he's only got 3 laps to do it. So here they are. Here's your front runners. Sparrow, Dance. Has Dance closed up at all? No, he hasn't. Now Stevens is caught up again. Caught up to Stewart. He's close enough to try something. Look at those brakes glowing. How realistic is iRacing? It is fantastic. Stevens, we're on board. 3rd, 4th. How's he going to do it? He's got pressure on. A little bit of a wiggle up front between Sparrow and Dance. So there could be some changes coming now. Makes you wonder who's going to do the mistakes. Here we go into turn 10. Into the last corner. And down they go. I think both drivers, Sparrow and Dance, made a mistake, and look at the gap that it's created between 1, 2, because 3 saw that. Here's the fight again. Here comes Stevens trying to grab 3rd spot. He wants a podium. He wants a double. He wants 2 trophies from tonight. Sticks nicely on the back bumper. Now I noticed that through turns 1 to 4, Sparrow is slower than Dance, and that's where Dance catches up. Then he loses it again on the back section of the circuit, so it's really a split 50-50 between those drivers. Here comes Stewart. Can he do it? Not on the outside. Not going to happen there. But if he holds, he'll get the inside run. If he can hold here, he'll get the inside, and he does in the revolver. Great passing maneuver, great instincts. There it is. What a fantastic move by Matt Stevens to move himself into 3rd position. The problem is he's got these 2 up in front, and he's only got 2 laps to do it. Dance and Sparrow, this is what I mean here. Sparrow goes on and off with his pace. Gains a huge gap, loses it again, gains it back. Right, there it is there. That's where he gains it back. He is brilliant on turns 10 and 11 to just open up the pace again. And then Dance catches him. Car number, or position number 2, car number 6, the orange roof. Just watch him here. Sees all over the tailpipe again. So he does a much better job on the tight corners, not so good on the open high speed ones. Very intriguing. Here comes Dance. Will he go late braking? Stevens is watching carefully. He'll wait for the mistake. He's not close enough to do anything himself. He has to wait for those 2 in front of him to do something wrong. The 2.6 litre V8 screaming. Surely he's not close enough to try anything. No, he's just playing games in the mirror. Into revolver, the left-hander, turn number 6. Then they go into 7. They head down the short straight. Not much goes on here. But once they pop out of this Redmond curve, the hairpin, turn number 8, and go up the hill into the hairpin right-hander, turn number 9. This is the important one. This is where Sparrow pulls away again. He gets good traction. He throws it in a little bit faster into turns number 10, turns number 11, and all that position that Dance gained is gone once more. We are on lap number, it should be 10, or are we on 9? 10, last lap now, final lap. I don't think Dance can do it. He hasn't been able to do it for 9 laps yet. He's certainly faster in the infield. Loses it on 10 and 11. Okay, it looks like they're settling down now because our gaps are pretty decent. Still Sparrow over Dance and Stewart. Mara and Blinko. Blinko has done exceptionally well to move up into 6th spot. That'll be a good points haul. Stovall as well. Northway, Taliancic did good. Bait and Pluck, he lost a handful of positions. He lost 7 spots, so not so good for him. Cleland, Hassler, Christie and Freeman are down in your top 15. We did lose a lot of cars at the very, very opening segment of this race. But as the lights shine brightly now on the final lap, and here comes Stevens playing games, and he shouldn't have done that because he lost all his track position. He thought about it, and he should have thought smarter because he nearly lost 3. He nearly lost it to Stewart. After all his hard work to get on the podium, he just about threw it away. But now they come down the final turn, and it will be a checkered flag for Mitchell Sparrow. He enjoys the moment. Dance will be second with Stevens and Stewart 3 and 4. Mara in 5, and Blinko could be the drive of the race, to be fair, to come from the back of the field up into 6th position. So that is it for race number 1 and 2 of round number 2 for the MotorSport New Zealand inaugural E-Series. He's just lighting up the tyres. I mean, it's not like he has to buy another set, is it? I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can stick it into the wall like that and hurt yourself because you know you don't have a bill. Let's look at the results with Sparrow and Dance. They held it all. Stevens and Stewart with Mara and Blinko. Stovall, Northway, Taliancic and Bait were your top 10. But look at the gap, 13 seconds back. Pluck lost a lot of spots to Cleland, Hassler. Wayne Christie moved up a couple. Yay, yay. Freeman, Lamont, Gardner. Climber Sink lost some. Lobb and McQueen because they all had it coming together at the start of the race because Mr. Lobb went sideways. He lit it up a little bit too much, and these things go nuts. Samson, Hugo Allen, or was it Hugo Allen? I think it was Hugo Allen, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Hugo Allen who caused it all. So I wonder if we can get that replay from the start. If I tap my heels together 3 times and cross my toes and blink 5 times, stand on 1 foot, put my left forefinger into my right ear, and then cough, I might get the replay of the start. I'm sure. And then if I go abracadabra and wiggle my nose, we'll be able to make it happen. I think all my magic is gone, to be fair. Okay, well, you can all watch it back on the live replay on either the Twitch, the YouTube, or the Facebook channels of MotorSport New Zealand. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing these 2 races to you. Thanks to Race Control, Geordie Peters, way down south, who has the big drive tomorrow morning, heading to Pukekohe for a Speedworks meeting. I'll see you there, Geordie. I'll see everyone else there as well. My name is Craig Lord, signing off. Enjoy watching the race replays, especially the start of race number 2. And we will join you again next Thursday night, round 3 of this first ever season for MotorSport New Zealand e-racing. It's going to be a ripper. Talk to you again then. Bye-bye for now. I'll just leave that up for